Folks, today I want to show you something very unusual, and that's Beasts of Balance. This comes in a really giant box it's a dexterity style game with really weird pieces that you're going to be stacking, but you need to hook it up to some sort of iOS device, whether it's a phone or an Android device, that you are going to be combining animals together, but at the same time playing a dexterity game where the device is going to recognize the pieces that you put. When I heard about this, I thought that seems like a unique, interesting idea, but how well does it play in theory? This was a Kickstarter that seemed to do pretty well. The animals have kind of a really weird look at them. This is a toucan, but I tried it out with my kids. Let's find out. Now, to play this game, you're going to need some sort of device. I have here an iPad Pro, but the game comes with this piece here. And so to start the game up, you're going to need an app. This has like a kind of like a scale on it to some degree. So I'm going to open up the app, Beasts of Burden, which is a free app that you get. And, all right, so it's searching for the plinth. That's what this is called. Now, it's not going to find the plinth because I need to turn it on, which is just a button in the back. It needs some batteries for this to run. So I turn on the plinth, and we start the game. Now, there's a tutorial, but I'm just going to show you basically the base game and how it works. Now, in this game, you have different animals. The game comes with 6 different animals. You have the very giant eagle here. That's a beast of the air. A small beast of the air would be the toucan. We have the bear, a beast of land, and the small beast of the land would be the warthog. And then in the ocean, we have the small octopus, and we have the shark. Oh, sharks are pretty awesome. So what you can do is you can take any of these, and you'll notice they're very polygonal, and you're going to place it on this. But before you place it on it, you're going to scan it. So you scan this here against that device there. It shows that it's a shark, and you can put it on any way you want. So I'm going to put it on standing up like that. Once it's been placed on successfully, it's going to come and it's going to place a shark here into the water. And you'll see the shark has a power of 6, and the shark has joined the sea. So let's see, I'm going to pick the warthog now. So I'll take this warthog here, we'll scan him, and I'll place him on this spot too. Now this is a dexterity game. You are trying to stack things here to make them all stack up successfully. So warthog has shown up on the land now. Now, I have 2 different animals. I have a shark and I have a warthog. Because the shark's power is greater than the warthog is sad and one of its points goes away. So I might want to increase the warthog's points. And there are various pieces that will allow me to do that. I can look at all these pieces here. There's really quite a few of them that are involved with the game. And they have the 4 different elements, or 3 elements on them. I'm sorry, we have land, we have water, and we have air, that's the pink, and then there's also fire. So I'm going to think fire works on anybody, and I'm going to use fire and land because that's where the warthog is. Now you notice this firefly is jumping back and forth. I'm going to scan this when it's over to warthog to make sure he gets the benefit of the fire. And I'm going to place that here on the device. So that's fire and earth. So all those points go to, the fire points go to him, and all the earth points would go to any creatures on the earth. So now he's up to 9 points. And my total score is 15. Since he's better now, the shark loses a point. All right, well, let's get to something fun. This piece here. This is going to let me crossbreed the 2 different animals. So I'm going to scan this, and I'm going to place this here. So I put the cross on, and now the shark and the warthog are going to cross and form a 3rd creature, which is some very weird creature. Let's see what we make. It's a pretty powerful creature. It's 14. Swine Jaw. And the game actually keeps everything in a bestiary, and I'm not going to show it to you because I don't want to spoil it. I've already spoiled it. Now, he made both of them lose a point. Now, I might want to see what a shark is like on the land. So let's wait till we get back to the shark. And now we're going to use the migrate piece. So I scan it, and the shark is now going to move. He's either going to move to the land or to the air, one of the 2. Let's see what happens. It's also going to buff him up a little bit. So, yep, now he's on the land. So we have a shark on the land. So I have all 4 guys on land. And there, ooh, A new discovery. I've never found this one before. A boulette, whatever that is. And that makes the other two guys go down. So you're really trying to put different things on. Now, there's some other pieces that you can put on. This one here is called distraction. It's a really weird piece and a hard piece to put on. But what distraction does is it will protect you. It makes like a little cloud of protection up here. When these guys lose points at the end of each round for being less than the awesome shark piece here, they go into that, so you don't actually lose them, but you have to do other things. Like here, I have to tap all the full moons. If I ever miss a full moon while I'm playing the game, then that goes away and I lose these 7 points up here. There's also a haste device, which is very similar, where I can place that one. Don't fall, don't fall. Oops, tap that. And the haste will do a similar thing. On the other side, another cloud that gives me points, but the haste has a timer, and you need to have these pieces up at a specific time, or else you will lose points. I'm up to 42. This is pretty good. You know what? I'm thinking, I have to hold the sun while placing, and also now I have 28 seconds. I'm going to add this giant eagle. I think I can get him in the mix here. So I add him, and I put him on top here. Ah! So now everything fell. If I can get everything back on here before that volcano gets to the top. All right, well, the game is over. And it showed me how many points I got. Now, that's a 42-point score. You can see so far my high score has been 149. And that is my high score. The kids have not yet beaten me in that regard. So you're trying to mix them. You can crossbreeds with each other. And if a creature runs out of points, they go extinct and they'll disappear, and you lose points on them. And you're just trying to figure out not only on how to breed the animals and get points, but you're also trying to essentially figure out the way to stack them on here. And you can move them around, but as the game goes by. But there's no way I think you can fit all these pieces on here. Anyway, you just keep your score, and then you play against somebody else, and whoever has the highest score is the winner. So the winner of the most played game this past week is Beast of Balance. I am not kidding. It is just continually played and played and played. And what I love about this game is it plays well with all number of players. My youngest daughter, who is 8, all the way up to a 40-year-old man, have all been playing the game. We come in and we put them together. Then there's two things. First of all, you want to see how many points you can get. And it's interesting, how do you get those points? Do you crossbreed, then migrate that crossbreed, then crossbreed it with something else, then migrate again? That seems a good way to get points. Do you want to put out as many animals as you can? Do you want to put those two things, the haste and distraction, in place? But that does make it harder. I'm telling you, the one where you have to hold the sun down as you're putting a piece on, it's really annoying only to have one hand to put a piece on. But it's a clever way, instead of saying, use only one hand to put this piece this turn, it's a clever way to do it. So there's that getting the points aspect. Then there's that whole discovering the new creatures. We found about half of them so far, maybe a little bit more than half, because we've been playing it a lot. But it's very curious, like, oh man, what combos, which one haven't we seen yet? And sometimes the creatures, not just comboing them, but giving them enough points in, let's say, fire, well, they'll just suddenly like pump up and there's something else. And the names are pretty funny. I mean, my kids all laughed to a T, each one when they played the game, and they got the bear, which was spelled B-A-I-R because it was a flying bear. And they're like, I get it. It's like, well, it's not that funny, but they liked it. And it's really neat to the point where the 6 animals, there's all these different combinations. We're like, well, is there more animals? We want to see how many different combinations. And then the game's a dexterity game. And man, I mean, look at this piece here, okay? This is not an easy piece to stack on things. It really isn't. And yet it's a handy piece because it helps the water and it gives you that fire boost. And this toucan is pretty neat, and he has a nice flat head, but he's also a smaller piece. And how do I put him on with this bear? I really like the shapes here. If the game was just about stacking these shapes, I'd probably give this game a pass. But it gives you a reason and an order to stack the shapes. So it's kind of like half video game, although the video game is just following what you do, but you're trying to find the correct order. I used to play sometimes a flash game where I would try to do things in a specific order, and once you did it, you won the game. And I really enjoyed those, trying to figure out the right combination. This has a little bit of that feeling, but the order is a physical thing where you're trying to keep everything from falling over. Everybody's enjoyed it. It's not a direct head-to-head game. We just have one person play at a time. Okay, it's your turn, you play. But it's very quick, and when all the pieces fall off, you can get them all back on, but if you have a lot of pieces, it's pretty much impossible. But if you only have a few and they fall off, you can quick rearrange them. Sometimes I actually physically will move a piece on the thing as long as you can get it back in on time, and that's a cool concept too. This is unique and fresh and interesting. I can understand that some of you have just watched the whole review and listened to me talk and you're still going, that just seems really stupid. Why are you enjoying this so much? It's hard to explain. There's a sense of discovery to find the new things. There is a visual sound effect matching it up with the iPad and game component, which is really cool. And then there's a fun dexterity stacking game. And it just reached across boundaries. My teenage daughters liked it. I liked it. The little kids liked it. My son, who's 2, just stood there fascinated as we were playing. And even he can play with the stacking of the stuff. It's pretty nifty. I'm telling you, they have extra animals for this. I'm going to hunt them down. They got little stickers that you can get that you can put on other objects. So you can add pretty much any object to the game, and I'm hoping that they make more expansions or more things. This game seems like it has that kind of potential, which can then, just spiral into many different combinations. It's fantasy, whimsical, and yet at the same time teaches you to make some logical decisions and dexterity decisions. It's a great combo. Great combo. Really enjoyed this game. Came out of nowhere, but thought it was very clever and cool. That's Beasts of Balance. Dice Tower Judgment into my collection.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at coolstuffinc.com.
Shut the door.